Why is there dust in my tea? Hello, stranger. Today, I decided I'm going to bring you along with me on a writing session. I don't know how long it will last because I am a mood writer. I don't know why I'm speaking with this cadence. I don't know how long it's going to last because I am a mood writer and it will last as long as I feel like it. I do know what I'll be working on though. I need to sit this down. So the book I'm working on today is my urban fantasy, small town vampire. It's got some murder in it. It's got curses and daggers that thirst for blood, you know? That kind of book. That kind of book, like you know exactly what I'm talking about. The main character comes back to town after a lot of years away to try to find out who cursed her. Basically, that's sort of how the plot starts. I don't mean to contradict everything I said in my last video, but in my last writing vlog, I said something along the lines of the title isn't right for the book because the tone of the book doesn't go with the title. And so I was like, well, I better come up with a new title. But I don't think the title is the problem. I think the problem is the tone. So actually, rather than do the edits I thought I was going to do, which were sort of change the plot a little bit, I'm actually going to be going through and fixing up the tone, because if the tone changes, then I'll only need to make small plot adjustments. So I should do that first. Basically, when I say I'm changing the tone, I don't think the book is funny enough in its current state. So I'm going through and adding jokes, which is very fun. And I think always a good idea. Maybe not always. Always a good idea in my books. Because I think it would be very weird of me to, at this point in my writing career, 10 years in, write something serious. Not that this book was particularly serious, but it wasn't funny enough, okay? Or isn't, I should say, because that's what we're working on today. It is, I looked at the face of my watch and realized it doesn't have numbers on it and I don't know what time it is. Okay, it is 11:25, so we're making a very early start, as you can see. But you know, honestly, I think afternoon writing sessions are underrated. So, we're getting started in the morning. I mean, that's impressive in itself, in my opinion. So, the to-do list for today is, for as long as I feel like it, usually once I get into the flow of something, that tends to be a long time, but I don't really tell myself I have to do something for 2 hours, or I will definitely not do it for 2 hours, whereas if I say, oh, I'm gonna just do this for however long I feel, I might do 2 or more hours, and I will definitely do something, whereas if I tried to set, you know, specific times, it's not a guarantee that I will do anything. What I'm planning to do is edit the book that is half written and really just fix the voice. That's the main focus. And if I see an opportunity to make the curse plot, the plot where she's trying to find out who's cursed her, if I see opportunities to make that, you know, more present, then I will add that in. I also need to figure out the sequence of events that happens off page, in a specific kind of gap in the book. It's not a gap in the book. It's just things that happen when the main character isn't there to witness them. I need to figure out what they are so that the rest of the book all leads up to the final conclusion. Like, I know what the events are, but I need to sequence them and figure out the details. So that is on the list if I get up to a certain part of the book where I then kind of need to do that. I need to know exactly what happens with the murder in order for the subsequent investigation to make sense. Or not to make sense, but really in order for me to be able to write it, I guess. It's that dog howling again. I need to figure out the sequence of events around the crime so that when I'm writing the rest of the book where they investigate it, I sort of know what to have the characters do and find out. So that's also on the list. But mostly the focus for today is the comedy, the tone, the voice. Is that dog? That werewolf howling in the background. Oh my goodness, the poor little guy. I've changed the color of my Scrivener to be more vibe. I've changed the font, but I don't know if I'm sold on it, but I like it better than I liked it before. I'm also in need of a new playlist for this book. So as you can see, the start of my writing session is mostly procrastination. I love putting ambience videos on in the background, and this one is very, very cool. It's somehow just exactly the vibe of my book. It's like a farmhouse at night. It's got a black cat, got some moths, a full moon. I also like to set the vibe by putting on a playlist. Obviously, I can't play the music I'm actually listening to, so I will play you a royalty-free version that's as close to the style of music I'm listening to as I can find. Please enjoy. Well, I'm pretty happy with the first 3 chapters. I have already had a go at them before today, so they didn't take as long. I'm at the end of the 3rd chapter, and there's a little bit where I think I need to, I don't know, make some changes. It seems a little bit convenient, shall we say. So I might need to either change it entirely or hang a hat on it, as they say, to be like, this is strangely convenient. Hanging a hat on it is basically making it obvious that there's something else going on here. So either I change it or I make it obvious that later on we'll find out why this has happened. She's meeting a vampire. That's basically what's happening in this part. She's at the cafe. Okay, let's start at the beginning. She's at a cafe where all the paranormal people in this town hang out, and she's meeting an old vampire. We know he's going to be significant. Ideally, we know he's going to be significant. We just don't know why. And so that's the thing I'm trying to sort out. Them meeting and have it all be in character, and have maybe, you know, still just have like a clue that they're gonna meet again, that there's sort of a point to this. I mean, that's really what you're going for in most scenes of a book. You want it to seem like there's a point. She meets him at the end of this chapter, and then they chat in the next chapter. And really, I think, you know, some of the dialogue is pretty fun, but it feels a little bit like a timeout from the plot. So I need to make it feel a little bit more, you know, like a diversion we want to go down, I guess. Probably just need to spend some time thinking. So that's what the next little portion of my writing session is gonna look like. Me sitting here, reading over what I've written and thinking. It's riveting stuff, really. I mean, to be honest, maybe I should just be working on that playlist while I do this. Get out the Pinterest board. If you're wondering why I'm holding my mug like this, I don't have a good answer for you. There was no reason for that, I just thought it would be fun. I am so tired today, and it is definitely impacting my ability to concentrate. I currently have added 390 words. So it's, I mean, I guess that's not so bad. I haven't been at it for that long. It's, I mean, 40 minutes maybe, but They've been 40 very distracted minutes. A lot of it has been thinking, and then just, you know, writing a sentence or two when I have an idea. But, you know, sometimes that's the way it goes. And I am so tired. I've had, I don't know, 5 hours of sleep or so. So maybe it's not the best day to bring you along on a writing session, but also maybe that's a great day because, you know, we all have bad days, don't we? Bad sleep sometimes, and you still gotta do stuff. I mean, it's realistic. I think I need to just wander around or something. Like, get the blood flowing. I don't know. Maybe I'll try putting my desk up in standing position and see if that, I don't know, shakes something loose. You know, and if that fails, I will go read a book and then go to bed early tonight and try again tomorrow. Sorry it's not a more impressive update, but let's get back to it. Well, I mean, I'm gonna go walk around for a bit, I suppose. I don't know. I think I've solved the first part of the problem, at least mentally. I still actually have to write it, so I have the idea. I know how to solve it. I just need to show some more characters reacting to this old vampire, and then that should sort the whole thing out, I hope. But like I said, I'm really tired, and when you're tired, it's very hard to get yourself to do anything. I don't know if you've had that experience, but I certainly do. My tea is cold, and I am sleepy, and this battery is about to run out, so it might be a little while before I get back to writing. But I will update you soon-ish. I think I fixed the problem. At least I fixed the big part of the problem. It's nearly 2, so it hasn't taken too long. I admit I did take a little break, little reading break, but you know, it's necessary, okay? I had to. Don't start with me. So I'm up to 451 words, and so I've added in, I think I was, when I originally drafted this, trying to be subtle, but it actually needs to not be subtle at all because this is the only interaction we get with this character before the big thing happens. I'm trying not to spoil it, obviously, but the big thing happens that I'm trying to, you know, leave clues for. I don't have time for a slow build. I just have this scene. So it needs to be here so that later it's not strange. So I think I've fixed it. I fixed the bit at the end of chapter 3. Now I just need to do all of chapter 4 where they're, you know, chatting and, you know, building more to that later scene that will be sort of a payoff for this bit. But now that I've got that first bit out of the way, everything feels much easier. So that's a relief. So this book is so fun. I'm very excited. Even when I'm doing like, you know, fiddly or like difficult stuff, I'm still having a good time. And I managed to get some more, you know, voicey bits in there because that's the goal of this read through, really. I mean, that's what I thought it was going to be, me doing like, you know, a little light edit and adding a bunch of jokes. And instead it has been, you know, a proper edit where I've got mistakes and I need to fix them. Especially on a day when I am so tired, it would be great to just be doing like light editing where you're just, you know, looking for opportunities for humor rather than introducing a major character for the series. But, you know, whatever. It's done now. Figured it out. So it doesn't even matter that I'm sleep deprived. I say that now. It may matter tomorrow when I read through what I wrote today and I'm like, oh dear. But until then, I choose to be happy. So now I just need to figure out what they actually have a conversation about. I know some of it, but again, like I was saying, this is the scene before the big scene. So everything kind of needs to be seated in this scene. So I kind of need to figure out what things then need to be in this. Which is probably not as big a task as it sounds like on the surface. It's probably a lot of it in there, but I'm tired. I'm tired. That's really the issue today. It can be hard to focus on something just when you're tired. No matter how fun it is and how much you're in the mood to do it, it's still difficult to focus when your brain is not working right. Some may say that my brain is never working right, and to them I say, shut up, I need another cup of tea. Maybe I'll go make myself another cup of tea. My last two went cold because I forgot to drink them. Devastating. That is the worst feeling. I mean, it's not the worst feeling. Calm down, Claire. It is ridiculous, as always, that just doing a tiny bit of reading has made everything so much easier. I don't know why. It always surprises me, but it always surprises me. I'm now up to 548 words. Not a huge step up from before, but also it's only been 15 minutes. So not a bad step up from before. So it's 10 past 5. I think it's about time to call it a day. It hasn't been the highest word count day. However, when you're editing, it usually isn't a high word count day. So I'm just going to be happy with what I got done. Figuring out the one part that needed fixing is, like, obviously a great thing. It's a great thing to have done. So even though, the word count doesn't necessarily reflect how much work I did, I got through a big sort of hurdle towards getting the book finished. And that is always good. It's not as impressive as like a high word count day, but it's just as important as writing new words. So I got 598 words. So it's like, it's not nothing. It's definitely not nothing. So that's exciting. It's not really the writing day I expected to have when I planned to make this video. I guess I assumed I would sleep the night before. And I also had forgotten that I was coming up on a chapter that I knew needed some work. But as soon as I'm sort of through this chapter, I think I'm good up until about the 25% mark. So I can just do the tone edits that I want to do. Make sure the voice is, funny and interesting to read. An important thing. My total word count is about 57,800 for this book so far. It's definitely going to be over 100,000 when it's done, so it will be my longest book to date. 100,000 is my previous record. So quite a bit of work left drafting, and obviously I have to edit all those words that I've already written to make sure that the voice is good. But luckily I really like this book, so even though it's sort of an overwhelming amount of work, at least it's a fun amount of work. Oh my goodness, my posture is awful. I'm so sorry. I look like a turtle. Well, I hope you enjoyed that look into a writing day in the life of a full-time writer who does not have a writing routine, which, I mean, does everyone have a routine? Surely not. I'm sure there are other people like me, but it does seem like everyone goes on and on about having a writing routine. Oh, my hair's falling out. Must be time to stop for the day. I did take a little break to read some more, and when I say a little break, I mean multiple hours. So tomorrow should be a good writing day, because that's kind of how it works. Or later tonight, to be honest. Let me know, are you more of a routine person or do you just go with the flow? Because I personally think going with the flow is underrated, but a lot of people have a different opinion than that. I hope you enjoyed this look into a writing session with me. I thought it would be, you know, more more one session. It ended up being, you know, nearly 6 hours spread out over different chunks, but that's how it goes sometimes. This is good. This is good. We're making good progress. Ooh. Oh dear. Okay. Hold on. So you don't fall off the windowsill. Ooh. Okay. What do we think? Well, that doesn't quite work, does it? Should have done this before recording. I cannot believe how noisy it got the second I was about to speak. A fucking helicopter? Are you joking? A dog howling. Children screaming. Are you... Alright, well, I'm writing urban fantasy, so just pretend that howling dog is a werewolf.
Jesus. What was that?
Nothing?